film is another horrible video game movie in my opinion. This film's boring, the acting's atrocious, Mila Jovovich does not do that great of a job, and it's directed by one of the worst movie directors out there, Paul W.S. Anderson. This is a film I really didn't care for, and it's probably one of the worst films of the year. Another video game movie, another shitty video game adaptation. Seriously, I may not know much about the video game series, but I know it's a lot better than this shitty film. Well, you have some actors in this film. You have Mila Jovovich, T.I., Megan Good, a few others, but really, they're like in the background. And then, to make this film even worse, it's like they didn't really give a damn about this movie. I mean, if anything, this film is just mindless. Not mindless entertainment. Like, you look at it and you will see all the problems this film has. The music's horrible. The acting is atrocious. The editing is fucking awful. Seriously, there's one scene in this film, actually many scenes, that has horrible editing. Like, picture the last Resident Evil film, and that's how horrible the editing is in this movie. When you do different shots and different cuts in one single filming, scene, then it makes the film look awful. And then there's a scene in the movie as well where Mila Jovovich's character gives this guy chocolate, and he's yelling at her like, "Chocolate? Chocolate?" And I'm face palming here. I mean, nothing could have saved this film. Paul W. Anderson pretty much run this film to the damn ground. I mean, maybe they should stop letting him, direct these films because he's horrible at it. And then it's not just that, it's also like the whole story premise and what they were trying to go for. It just doesn't work for me. This is certainly a film I didn't really care for at all. It is a horrible ass film, in my opinion. This film's also not even funny. I mean, throughout the whole runtime of this film, I might laugh one time. That was the ridiculous costume Ron Perlman was wearing. Seriously, what he's supposed to be, some kind of caveman? That outfit is just straight up awful. And then, to make matters worse, there's a joke in the beginning of this film. It is very racist, I will see, and it's a bad joke. I mean, it was taken out of future releases, but I managed to look at the film with the joke in, and it's just a bad joke. And I can see why he took it out. And, Paul W. Anderson is a bad director. The only movies I really enjoyed of his was the first Mortal Kombat film and the first Resident Evil movie. But other than that, I never really enjoyed his films. He always do these terrible, film editing cuts. And it just made the film horrible in all aspects. Besides, I couldn't take his movie seriously. And I have checked out some video game footage of the franchise. And, the Monster Hunter video games are interesting for what I looked at. This movie is very boring. It is shallow. It has no plot, no substance, no character development. I mean, characters stay in one space for a couple minutes, then they go to another place the next. And it's just done very poorly. If you haven't seen this film, stay far away from it because it ain't worth your time, even if you're a fan of the Monster Hunter video game franchise. I'm giving this film a 4 out of 10. Easily a dumpster fire, and not just that, with a bad plot, horrible screenwriting, the acting's not that great. The only positives I could really say about this film is that the monsters look interesting, and then some of the action scenes are decent, I suppose. Other than that, this is a horrible film, probably one of the worst films out of the year. And it's another shitty video game adaptation. What else can you expect? After we had got the awesome Sonic film earlier in the year, this film can't even compete. And that's my review of the film Monster Hunter. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this film. Do you think this is one of the worst video game movies that's been made, in recent times? Or do you enjoy it on some level? With everything wrong with this film, I hope Paul W.S. Anderson don't direct another video game movie like ever again. This is just fucking awful film. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.